What's up, guys? Simone Fan 101 here, and it has returned. Lucha Underground, the greatest wrestling promotion and show in the past year and a half, has returned in Season 2, and Season 2, Episode 1 did not disappoint. It was a great show. I fucking loved it. I do have notes written down just to remind me of what I need to talk about. But I just gotta say right now, the matches felt important. Everything felt important. And, of course, this was a different kind of show than what we usually see with WWE, NXT, Ring of Honor, TNA. Sorry about that. And even New Japan. There was, of course, little segments here and there that felt more like a TV show than your normal wrestling show. Now, the opening segment was, it was not a segment like a promo, but it was one of those, TV show kind of openings that Lucha Underground is known for. It opened up with Vampiro, who at the end of Season 1 in Ultima Lucha faced off against his protege, Pentagon Jr., in a hardcore-style match. Thumbtacks, burning table, all that shit. He was bloodied up pretty badly. Vampiro was released from a mental institution. And even though the dates are kind of off, it says that he was confined for 6 months, which if you really look at it, the Ultima Lucha show, it was taped, ahead of, 6 months and everything. It was taped in May, but it wasn't released till August. Late July to early August. So it's wait, that's 4 months. But anyway, who gives a shit? Lucha Underground's back. What happened in that segment is Vampiro basically got off the mental institution, probably lying his way out or some shit. Got, some meds basically. Then got picked up by Matt Striker. And we were told that they were invited back to the temple, back to Lucha Underground, but it would be much darker. Now, for those of you who don't know, this TV show type storyline has been going on between Dario Cueto, a woman called Black Lotus, and a masked wrestler called Dragon Azteca. Now, at the end of Season 1, Cueto convinced Lotus to kill Azteca, saying that Azteca was the one that killed her parents. But, well, it wasn't really to kill him. She wanted to kill him. Cueto was like, no, that's a bad idea. So now, Cueto, Lotus, and Cueto's older brother Matanza, who's a killer behind a cage and all that shit, they left the Lucha Underground temple. They left Royal Heights, which is where Lucha Underground takes place. So in charge is Mil Muertes, who beat Prince Puma at the main event of Ultima Lucha to become Lucha Underground champion, and Katrina, who's basically Mil Muertes' manager, she's the real one in charge. And the show started off with was it a match or no? It was a little opening backstage kind of segment in Cueto's old office. Katrina talked with Fenix, saying that he will defend the King. I was about to say King of the Mountain Championship, the Gift of the Gods Championship, which was a new championship belt that was introduced at Ultima Lucha. Fenix said he wanted a shot against Muertes. Katrina, being his manager, Muertes' manager that is, says that you'll get a shot when I give you a shot, but you're going to defend it tonight against King Cuerno, who they were teasing that Cuerno was hunting Fenix after Ultima Lucha ended. Now, with that said, we had a match. It was a 7 to 8 minute match, but it was a fucking awesome match. This is what Lucha Underground was best known for. Having great matches in a short amount of time. And in the span time of 7 to 8, maybe 9 minutes, Fenix and King Cuerno had a pay-per-view style match, and it was fucking awesome. Fenix and Cuerno kicked ass, with Cuerno delivering a variation of the Tombstone Piledriver move as his finisher, and beat Fenix for the Gift of the Gods Championship. After that, we got another little backstage segment, sort of, with Ivelisse, Son of Havoc, and Angelico, who lost their trios championship titles against the Disciples of Death, which is Barrio Negro, El Sinestro de la Muerte, and Trece, who the former names in Lucha Underground was Ricky Mandel, Argenis, and El Mariachi Loco. So in case you don't know who they are, that's who they were previously in Lucha Underground. Now, with that said, they said, we want our titles back. They were put into a triple threat match against each other by Katrina, with the promise of whoever the winner was to face Mil Muertes for the Lucha Underground title. Now, it was a good triple threat match, and this is how they need to book women. If they're gonna book women in mixed matches, they should book the women like this. Because Son of Havoc did the final damage to Angelico, then his ex-girlfriend, who so happened to be Ivelisse, tripped him up to the top rope, and then she went for a crucifix pin on Angelico and won the match. So, Son of Havoc did the last bit of damage to Angelico, but Ivelisse took advantage. See, that I can get behind. That's how they need to book women in Lucha Underground. Not have Sexy Star pin Pentagon Jr., who's on a fucking roll, in Season 1 at least, and just job him out in 5 minutes. That was fucking ridiculous. She's basically supposed to be the Bayley of Lucha Underground, and by extension, the John Cena of Lucha Underground, which is bullshit, because she's basically Superwoman, in a sense. Afterwards, we had in the break between matches, because Muertes immediately went up to defend the title against Ivelisse after that. Which, by the way, Muertes, throughout most of the show, was on like a throne watching all of Lucha Underground, so it was very fun. In the middle of a slight break between the two, Black Lotus found 3 guys who were trying to look for the Lucha Underground temple, but they were like 200 miles away. So they were like, I'll show you where the temple is. And it wasn't revealed till the end of the show. And I'll get to that. After that little segment, we got Muertes versus Ivelisse, which Ivelisse was booked well. She got dominated, but got in a few moves on Muertes, and then proceeded to just get destroyed by Muertes. After the match was over, Katrina's basically like, stick her, and Muertes went for the attack. Prince Puma, who was the former Lucha Underground champion before Muertes, came in and super kicked Muertes, and got Ivelisse out of there. So we got a return of him and the return of Pentagon Jr. As they were, at the steps where, half the wrestlers make their entrances. They make their entrances on another side of the arena too. Pentagon Jr. came up from behind, was standing behind Muertes for a good few seconds. And you think like Pentagon Jr. was a heel last time we saw him. This time, Pentagon Jr. gave Mil Muertes a backstabber, essentially turning him babyface. Which is a good thing, because Pentagon Jr. was super over when Ultima Lucha ended. He was the most popular wrestler after Lucha Underground Season 1 ended. Because if you look at what the matches he had 3 matches outside of Lucha Underground and AAA and the Mexican promotions after that. Which was with Chris Hero, Zack Sabre Jr., and I believe, Mark Andrews, or someone, or no, it was Drago. He had a couple matches with Drago outside of Mexico. It was Drago outside of Mexico, Chris Hero, and Zack Sabre Jr. He had those matches with those guys in America. That was fucking awesome. So they needed to turn him face because they needed to, pounce on his popularity. And that's how Lucha Underground, the wrestling part of the show, ended. The show actually ended with the three guys who were looking for the temple. They were guided by Black Lotus to Dario Cueto. And they said, yeah, well, this is the temple. Here, give me $20. They gave him $20. He gave them the key to go in the temple. One of the guys was like, who will be fighting tonight? And then he said, you will. Soon as he closed the door, what we presume to be Matanza, Dario Cueto's older, sadistic killer brother who killed Bale in the first season, proceeded to just maul and kill those three guys. That's how Lucha Underground Season 1 ended. I fucking loved it. It was a great show. If you can, check out King Cuerno versus Fenix. You will not be disappointed. The triple threat match between Son of Havoc and Helico and Evil East was also a good match. And the mixed Lucha Underground title match between Muertes and Evil East was exactly what it needed to be, with a satisfying as hell post-match. I fucking loved it. I give it a fucking A show, A+, whatever. And I will see you guys in a little bit when I review NXT. See you later, guys.